The living room went dead quiet the instant Ryan's voice cut through the chatter like a whip crack. Get lost. Go to bed right now. My daughter Mia stood frozen in the middle of the floor, her small hands still outstretched as if the serving tray was still there. The lemon bars she'd been carefully balancing had scattered across the hardwood. One plate cracked, a wine glass shattered in a pool of red liquid. No one moved to help her. No one said a word to defend her. Mia was only 10, dressed in the yellow sundress I'd picked out that morning because it made her feel special. She'd spent the whole afternoon at Aunt Brooke's house helping set up for the big family barbecue, arranging napkins, refilling drinks, carrying plates from the kitchen to the patio where the adults laughed and talked over burgers and corn on the cob. I'd watched her do it all with that quiet focus she always had, never complaining, always smiling when someone asked for something else. But that smile vanished the second the tray slipped. A guest had bumped her without looking. Ryan, Brooke's husband, didn't even give her a chance to apologize. His face was red from the heat and maybe one too many beers. You're not here to cause trouble. Upstairs. Now. Mia's cheeks burned crimson. She lowered her eyes, turned without a sound, and walked up the carpeted stairs to the guest room. The party noise slowly picked up again behind her, laughter bubbling back like nothing had happened. I stood there on the edge of the patio, gripping the railing until my knuckles ached. The Arizona evening air was still thick with barbecue smoke and the scent of sunscreen. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. I wanted to scream, to march over and tell Ryan exactly what I thought of him. But years of training kicked in, the same training that had kept me quiet as a kid. Don't make a scene. Keep the peace. Family first. Instead, I slipped back inside through the side door, weaving past cousins balancing paper plates piled high with potato salad. No one asked where Mia was. No one seemed to notice she'd disappeared. Her own plate, grilled chicken, a little macaroni, some sliced watermelon, sat untouched on the kids' table, the one marked with her name and marker. Forgotten. Upstairs. The hallway was cooler, the central air humming softly. I pushed open the guest room door gently. The light was off, but the hallway glow showed Mia curled on the pull-out couch. Shoes kicked off. Socks mismatched like always. She'd pulled a thin decorative throw over herself, the kind meant for show, not warmth. Her breathing was shallow.
Try not to cry.
Hey, sweetheart, I whispered, kneeling beside her. She didn't answer at first. Then, in the smallest voice, I'm fine, Mom. I brushed her hair back. Did you get any dinner? She hesitated. Not really hungry.
Lie.
I could hear her stomach growl faintly. I sat on the edge of the couch. The fabric smelled like lavender detergent and old memories. Why'd you come up here? He was still down there. I didn't want to make it worse. That sentence landed heavy. I pulled out my phone and saw the missed message from her, sent while I'd been outside trying to collect myself. Mom, I'm hungry, but scared to come down. He's still awake. I hadn't seen it in time. Guilt twisted sharp in my chest. I'm sorry I missed that, I said softly. It's okay. But her voice cracked. I thought if I was quiet, maybe they'd like me better. My hands clenched in my lap. Sweetheart, you don't have to earn anyone's love by being quiet. The people who matter see you for who you are. She nodded, but doubt lingered in her eyes. I asked if anyone had offered her cake or anything. She shook her head. Aunt Brooke said the dessert was for later. Everyone laughed when I asked. I bit the inside of my cheek until I tasted metal. Forced a gentle smile. Stay here. I'll be right back. Downstairs, the kitchen counters overflowed with food, platters of ribs, fresh salads, pasta salad, a massive chocolate cake under glass. Enough for twice the crowd. I fixed a plate with Mia's favorites, a piece of chicken, some fruit, a slice of cake wrapped carefully. Grabbed a fork and napkin. No one noticed me moving through the crowd. Back upstairs. Mia's face lit with that heartbreaking little smile when I handed it to her. She ate slowly, savoring each bite like it was more than food, it was being seen. When she finished, I tucked the blanket tighter. Want to go home? Too late now. Just want to sleep. I kissed her forehead and stood in the doorway a long moment, watching her breathe. Promises I'd made when she was born echoed in my head, that she'd never feel invisible in her own family, that she'd always know she mattered. And here we were again. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the blinds in soft flares. I moved through our kitchen on autopilot, flipping pancakes neither of us had much appetite for. Mia sat at the table, chin in her palm, poking at her food. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was heavy with everything unsaid. She wasn't angry. She was pulling inward, the same way I had learned to disappear when I was her age. My phone buzzed. A voice message from my cousin Lauren in Santa Fe. We'd barely talked in years, but she'd been at the barbecue, watching from the sidelines. I stepped into the hallway and pressed play. Hey, Sophia. I didn't want to say anything last night, but seeing Mia reminded me so much of you. Remember how Brooke always had you running trays at every gathering? Your mom saw it all. We all did. The words hit like cold water. Images flooded back, not copied, but lived anew. Me at 10, balancing a pitcher of lemonade heavier than I was, barefoot because Brooke said I was quieter without shoes. Me at 12, refilling glasses while Brooke held court. Mom saying, "Let her help. It builds character." And the clearest, my 13th birthday. I'd saved for a new dress. Pink and perfect. Halfway through my own party, I was clearing chip bowls instead of opening gifts. One guest asked if it was really my party. Brooke laughed. She likes feeling useful. I walked back to the kitchen, watching Mia fold her napkin into careful shapes. She looked up.
Mom.
Is it good that I'm like you? My heart stopped. Who said that? Last night I heard Aunt Brooke tell Uncle Ryan I'm just like you, good at taking orders. The quiet curiosity in her voice nearly undid me. I nodded, excused myself, and went to the bedroom. I pulled down the old photo album, flipped past holidays until I found it, a faded shot of Brooke's milestone party. Me in the background holding a tray, half cropped out like an afterthought. On the back, Mom had written only about Brooke's perfect night. Clarity burned behind my eyes. If I didn't stop this now, Mia would grow up believing obedience was love. Silence was belonging. That afternoon, I sat at my kitchen table staring at the family cloud album Brooke maintained like her personal highlight reel. The latest group photo from the barbecue showed everyone smiling around the table, everyone except Mia, whose arm was blurred at the edge like an accident. Caption: the whole crew together. No tag for her. No mention. I printed the photo at the local store, then on the back wrote in careful letters, "History doesn't have to repeat. People choose to." I drove back to Brooke's that evening. Porch light on, wreath still up. I tucked the envelope between the wreath and doorframe without ringing the bell, then walked away. No turning back. At home, sleep wouldn't come. I opened my journal for the first time in years and wrote what I'd never allowed myself, a letter to the girl I used to be, the one always holding the tray. I'm sorry I let them convince you silence was strength. I'm sorry I believed it too long. But I'm done. And I promise Mia won't carry that weight. The next days blurred into a careful watch. I limited visits, but didn't want to teach Mia fear, only awareness. When Brooke texted about a girls' baking day that weekend, I replied carefully, "Mia can come. Please make sure she feels welcome and included." Saturday came warm and bright. Mia dressed in her favorite overalls and braided her hair hopefully. "Text me if anything feels off," I reminded her at the driveway. Hours later, I picked her up. Laughter spilled from the open windows.
Inside.
Brooke stood at the center of the kitchen island, showing off trays of decorated cookies and a sheet cake. "We worked so hard. My girls are naturals," she beamed, gesturing to her own daughters playing outside. Mia stood off to the side, wiping her hands on a towel, partially hidden by the fridge. Her smile when she saw me didn't reach her eyes. Brooke turned casually.
"Oh. Hi."
Mia was super helpful with the cake. That word again, helpful. We stayed briefly, nibbling cookies. Mia was mostly silent on the ride home. Later, unpacking her bag, a folded, slightly damp card fell out. A drawing of a cake with stars and hearts, made with love by Mia. "Did you give this to Aunt Brooke?" I asked. I put it by the cake before guests arrived. I stared at the crumpled paper, a piece of my daughter's heart discarded. I messaged Brooke. Mia found her card in the trash. The reply came quick. It didn't match the setup. Looked messy. That night, I held Mia close but said little. The pattern was clear. The next community fundraiser at the local park, Brooke brought her baked goods again. Compliments flowed. I waited until the crowd quieted, then guided Mia to the table. Loud enough for nearby guests. "Mia, tell them who made these cookies and the cake." Mia blinked, then spoke firm and small. "I did. All of them." Praise followed. "Amazing. So talented." Brooke smiled tightly and turned to rearrange napkins. The air shifted. People noticed. Later at home.
"You set Mia down."
"You won't go over there without me anymore. Not until they treat you right." She hugged me tight, understanding more than words. But the backlash came fast. Brooke's text, "If you want drama, don't drag your daughter into it." I screenshotted it. Tuesday afternoon. Mia finished homework at the kitchen table when she asked quietly, "Mom, are we poor?" My hands paused on the dish towel. "Why do you ask?" A girl at school said I must be, because I always work at Aunt Brooke's. She called me the maid niece. Heard it from Brooke's daughter. The crack inside me deepened, sharp and final. After dinner, I remembered the old baby monitor still packed away. I pulled the SD card, played the files. Brooke's voice clear. She tags along for the food. "She's not really one of us." Ryan chuckled. "Time she learns her place." I listened twice, hoping for context that would soften it. There was none. I saved everything, screenshots, audio, photos, into a folder labeled Mia Evidence. Proof mattered. That night, I told Mia, "You never have to earn your place at any table where you already belong. Not here. Not anywhere." She nodded calmly, like she'd waited her whole life to hear it. At 2 a.m., Brooke texted, "If you're building a case, make it airtight." I recorded my own memo softly. She knows. The family group chat exploded the next morning. Brooke's message led, "You've been poisoning things for years with your suspicions. Now recordings?" Others piled on, overreacting, playing victim. Classic lines. I didn't reply with anger. I attached the barbecue photo where Mia was cropped out, the transcript of Ryan's words. The line, "Not even one of ours." Underneath, "Not here to explain. Just clarity." Silence followed. Then quiet exits. Ryan left the group. Cousins messaged privately in support. One deleted a post. I logged into my accounts and canceled every automatic payment I'd made for Brooke's family over 2 years. Camp fees, grocery help, tuition top-ups. Then messaged Brooke outside the group. "This is the last check with my name. Pay your own way." That evening, Mia noticed the calm house. Are they mad? Probably. My fault.
No.
Baby. People get mad when lies stop working. A family meeting was called at Grandma Evelyn's for the weekend. Tension hung thick as we arrived. Folder under my arm. Chairs in a semicircle. Brooke sat cross-legs. Sugary smile. Ryan arms folded. Evelyn busied herself unnecessarily. We're here to clear the air. Brooke began stiffly. Misunderstandings. I let them talk. Mia pulled a napkin from her bag, the one she'd written on that night. If you want dessert, earn it. Be good or eat last. She read aloud calmly. And your dog ate before I did while I was sent upstairs. The room froze. I played the monitor audio. Brooke's voice unmistakable. Because he knows how to behave. No one moved. I stood. You will not speak to my daughter again. No texts. We're done pretending. I set down the folder, photos, transcripts, counselor's notes. On top, just so you remember. Outside. Sun sharp but kind. Mia squeezed my hand. Thank you for hearing me. They taught me silence. You taught me to speak. The following weeks brought the usual attempts. A holiday card arrived, Brooke's family in matching pajamas. Fake snow. We weren't in it. Mia tossed it in recycling with a shrug. Guess we weren't in the frame. Grandma Evelyn visited with banana bread. Practice smile. It's the holidays. We shouldn't be divided. Mia spoke plainly. I don't want to visit if they still think I was wrong. Evelyn left without a hug. I drafted a no-contact request. Citing emotional harm, realistic in family court context if needed. I filed a report with Child Protective Services, including everything. Not revenge, but protection for Mia or the next child. Weeks later, invited to speak at a local parents' conference on family dynamics and psychological safety. I spoke without notes about generational obedience disguised as tradition. Loyalty for crumbs. Protecting your child might make you the villain in their story, but never in yours. People stood. Some cried. A woman whispered thanks. Mia watched from the front row.
Proud.
Mia won a statewide youth art contest. Her piece, A Girl Standing Tall. Rope limp and disconnected from dangling puppets. Displayed framed. It moved me to tears, not pain, but pride. She had turned silence into visual power. We hung it prominently. I like it here, she said. Quiet, but not scary quiet. It's peace now. Notifications persisted. Brooke tagged me in throwbacks. Captions about blood thicker than noise. Mia and I cropped out again. I deleted the tags without engagement. A knock one afternoon, Evelyn again. Foil tray in hand. We sat awkwardly. Mia entered holding her drawing. We're still a family. Just smaller and safer. Evelyn startled, but said little. That night in my journal, some rewrite the past to live with themselves. I write it honestly so Mia doesn't live confused. Brooke's early morning text. We all said things we didn't mean. Attached old card photos. Just a joke. Move on. I forwarded to my lawyer. Nothing surprised anymore. The denial. The minimization. I mailed the formal no-contact letter certified, no visits. No text to Mia. Violations legal consequences. Copied Evelyn unsealed. You choose where you stand. But silence speaks loudest. Months passed in quiet healing. We baked together. Decorated our tree with mismatched ornaments from our own memories. Mia asked about holidays. Only if they see you for who you are. I'd rather stay home. We taped her new card to the fridge. 2 figures holding hands. Heart in sky. From our small, quiet home to us. I added to the album. Family is who treats you like you matter. The school counselor had called earlier about Mia's extreme compliance, giving away projects, adjusting silently. It confirmed what I'd seen. Kindness needed boundaries. One evening folding laundry, Mia said casually, "There was still cake in the fridge after the party." Aunt Brooke said it was for tomorrow's breakfast. The same cake from the night she went hungry, reserved for those they valued more. I lined up evidence on the counter. Cropped photo. Napkin note. Counselor's report. Sticky note underneath. Pattern. Speaking at the conference gave me language I hadn't had growing up. I wondered how many others stayed quiet to keep family from cracking. Loyalty demanded in exchange for invisibility. Mia adjusted the frame of her winning art. It's not silence anymore. It's peace. Sometimes the hardest choices protect that peace. I wasn't taught boundaries. I was taught to smile through harm in family's name. But I've learned you're not disloyal for choosing yourself or your child's well-being. When you stop explaining your worth and start guarding your space, freedom comes, not with applause, but quiet peace. Have you ever stayed silent to hold a family together? Or been told loyalty means swallowing your voice? How did that shape the person you became? The questions linger long after the story ends, because breaking the cycle isn't loud. It's choosing differently for the ones who come after you.